Hi, it's Paul. This case is a 60-year-old male with multiple enlarged neck nodes and he had a history of smoking. The air-dried slides, very bloody, but we've got a few little groups that catch my attention that seem to be cohesive cells with a little more cytoplasm. Here's a bigger group that's definitely shouldn't be there. It looks epithelial. And on high power, actually a bit of variation in size and shape of nuclei. They appear very hyperchromatic, quite sort of angular and irregular, almost triangular, some of them. Cytoplasm seems to be a fair bit of it there. It's not looking particularly columnar. Nuclei seem to be, certainly these two, the nuclei seem to be in the center of the cell. This is the alcohol fixed slides, and we've got quite almost squamoid cytoplasm here is how I describe that. It's quite dense, has quite a well-defined border to it. And these are definitely looking like that. So I have centrally placed nuclei here and a relatively abundant amount of cytoplasm. It appears quite thick and dense, so no vacuoles present here. There are a few scattered lymphoid cells noticed in the background. Just another area of the slide. Here's a really bizarre looking mitosis. And this is sort of the tail of the smear. You can see some pleomorphic looking cells here. So I've got one in the center there that looks a bit cordate. It's got a tail on it. And these cells are looking more squamoid as well. There's some bizarre mitoses present in those cells, but the cytoplasm still looks quite dense and round like a squamous cell. And here's an interesting patch. So on the right hand side here, we've got some really bizarre looking cells with quite dense opaque nucleus. And then this mass of cells are showing quite spindled morphology, quite elongate looking cigar shaped nuclei. Notice there's a bit of orangiophilia to the cytoplasm as well, making me think it's keratinized. And if we focus up and down on those, you can see that there's some quite elongate, spindly nuclei present there. So that spindle shape's associated with connective tissue cells and also some types of tumour. Notice the chromatin's quite dense and opaque. So what have we seen? We've got single cells mainly, or else very small sheets. That last one was a very crowded, disorganized grouping of cells. The NC ratio is probably just moderate or low, so there was a reasonable amount of cytoplasm on them, and it looked dense, didn't have any vacuolation, so it's homogeneous, and had quite a clear-cut border. You could easily tell where the cell started and ended. There was some orangiophilia, particularly in that last grouping, and most of them seem to have a centrally placed nucleus with quite hyperchromatic, coarse chromatin. Nucleoli weren't a big feature, and there was a moderate amount of anisokaryosis, so variation in size and shape of the nuclei, and certainly some pleomorphism there, and this would therefore be really consistent with a metastatic squamous cell carcinoma. And again, we could do immunos on a cell block to confirm that with some squamous markers like P40, for example.